I say, hey, I'm gonna film. Can you guys like stay out of the dining room and be a little quiet for a little while? It's like, hey, let me jump up and down right above you. I'm sending out my mad mom mojo. Hello everyone, welcome to another card video. Today I'm gonna make another light up card with using some easy lights from Pear Blossom Press. These are super easy. You know, I love to be super cheesy, right? Like the super cheesiest, the better. These easy lights are awesome, okay? And they are easy. And today we're gonna remake, sort of, a card that I made a couple weeks ago or a month ago using some MFT stencils and some products and some things. We're also going to use these little embellishment Christmas lights. I did find them. I ordered them from Buttons Galore. You can also get them from Buttons Galore through Amazon. They have two different size lights. They're not the same exact lights as I bought in previous years, but they're very, very similar. And they have the small ones, and they also have these bigger ones that you could use to light up maybe some home decor. Like maybe you want to use your easy lights and light up these. We're going to drill a little hole. It's really not that exciting. This is a Dremel. It's a hand drill. It actually has a lot of really great uses. So I keep it around the craft room for a lot of handy things. This is just one of them. We're going to use the drill to drill a little hole into the plastic light and then insert the easy light to make the light bulb light up, okay? You can get small miniature lights on a string too, but I have easy lights in my stash and I have the embellishments in my stash and I'm card making here. So my husband wanted me to try to be as safe as possible. So he made me a little stand to help hold my light so that I had kind of pressure on two sides of this little plastic light bulb. So you could just drill a little hole the same size as your light bulb and it fits in there as just a little, it's like a third hand, okay? So, and then we're going to drill a little hole, okay? Start it lower. Start it on the low end, maybe like on the 10 spot. I don't know what that means. This drill bit is 5/64 of an inch. There we go. So now there's a little hole for your easy light to live in. Okay? And then when you light it up, up. We're also going to make a little star flat to our card panel here and use some Nuvo material to make this star. So let's see how it all works out. I haven't actually completed this card yet. It's going to be a winging it. We're winging it. It's good.
We've got even more price increases.
Ooh, that's loud.
Restaurant news. A possible nighttime.
So these lights come with 3 LEDs attached to it, okay? So, but I want 4 lights. So I'm going to use 2 sets of easy lights and disconnect 2 of the lights on the one set. I hope that makes sense. It's going to mean that I have 2 switches and 4 lights. 1 switch for 1 light and 1 switch for the 3 Christmas lights. So I just put the battery in after I disconnect the other lights, and boom, you have a single light, easy light. I'm confident that the cardstock will press both buttons at the same time, and spoiler alert, it does work out perfectly. I'm using some mint tape to tape down this stencil. Thumbnail! We are going to be ink blending this beautiful tree, and for the tree, I'm going to use my Ranger ink blending tools, and here are the sponges. This is how I've been storing my ink blending equipment, and I absolutely love it. I also need to grab my ink stands. I have this cute little cubby for all my ink stands. I absolutely love it. We're going to be using some Distress Oxide ink, and my ink stands are really a necessity. They help me not make a mess. They keep my ink pad where I need it to be, and it helps me not make a mess. I love these things.
Last year it was not the cutest tree we've ever seen, but this year it is definitely better. It's covered in green buttercream.
I love ink blending. I love ink blending with my Distress Oxide inks. So that's what we're doing. And I can't remember exactly the greens that I used. Let me check my notes. I believe the Pine Needles is at the bottom, and then Rustic Wilderness, and then Mowed Lawn is at the top of the tree. Do you see the camera shaking? That's Dexter. That is Dexter jumping above me. Despite the footage being shaky, I love how this tree turned out. And these Oxide inks just look fabulous. I love how they look matte, but we're gonna jazz it up. Look how it looks. It's so good. I love green. I'm a big fan of green. Green's a great color. That's a good one. I'm using my favorite shimmer sprays to make my tree sparkly and shiny in the background. Make sure you're maintaining your shimmer sprays because the nozzles can get really gunked up, and that spray paint noise, that's important. This card is a filming nightmare. I have to let this dry before I can move on to the next step, and then the next step after that is even more time consuming. This might take me a minute. So if I'm wearing different clothes, you know what happened. So I set my shimmery tree into my little wind tunnel here. I'm gonna cut this out of red, yellow, and green cardstock and then stack it together so that when it looks from the side, you can see the stacked colors from the side. Oh yeah. We're doing that. This is the stacked Mary die by My Favorite Things. I'm like 900% sure that it's not available. This is also some cardstock. I have MFT's Butterscotch and Poppy, as well as Gina K Designs Green Grass or Grass Green. We're doing some stacking. We're stacking. I'm just using liquid adhesive and a little micro brush to clean up some mess. You've seen me do this many, many times before. It's my favorite way to use die cuts because it gives them a little extra something. A little extra something. But I miscut this one. Like I must have missed the top of the Y. So instead of recutting it from red cardstock, I'm salvaging it. I had this extra piece of white that I used to just test out the die when I originally got it. And I'm using it, I'm just using the top of the Y. I'm trimming it off right where kind of I missed when die cutting this piece. And then I'm going to use the same liquid adhesive to just put that white piece in place. If this bothers you, you could use a Copic marker to make that piece not white, to make it red to match or to blend in a little bit more, but I didn't do that. And you can totally see it in the final photographs. But honestly, what friend of yours is going to have a problem with that?
3 days later.
So there's been a few days. I got busy with Halloween and my kids. So I'm back to finish this card. I'm sorry. Where the heck were we? So my tree is really dry now. And I'm using fossilized amber and wild honey to create a lit from behind glow for my tree.
This time I'm using these little Ranger stencil brushes because it puts a smaller amount of ink onto the cardstock. I'm trying to concentrate some of the light up at the top of the tree.
Bear with me, we're gonna put a star there.
I'm using my Stampin' Up! Piercing mat, and this stencil is from Felicity Jane. It has wonky stars on it. I absolutely love it. I love hand-drawn and wonky stars. I'm using my Tim Holtz Tonic Studios piercing tool to poke a hole right where I want my light to come through the back of the card. I'm putting the single easy light into this area where I'm going to put the star. Okay, so this is just the one light for the one switch. I'm using Nuvo's Jewel Drops in Limoncello. I think that's it. Limoncello, maybe. And a little silicone tool to spread out the Nuvo drops, I guess. So I put a huge amount. I'm trying to make this as flat as possible, but it's not going to be flat, and it's going to be a ton of material. And every time I've done this in the past, the material cracks. But honestly, I think that looks fantastic for this application. So I lift the stencil straight up.
Yet again, I'm at a place where I have to stop and wait for something to dry.
It's okay. It really didn't take that long, but I did wait a couple hours.
So now I'm going to adhere my sentiment, my little word die. And these Christmas lights, we're going to string them up with a little bit of twine and kind of string them along the merry. And then inside the card, it will say, and bright. So it'll be merry and bright. I also want to cut a little thing for the bottom to have like a little bit of a ground. That way it'll finish off the bottom a little bit better.
My idea here is to make the twine come from behind the tree and hold the lights down through and around the merry and come in down around the bottom of the tree. So I'm making holes to basically thread my twine through the top and then through the bottom, I guess to kind of make it look like it's decoration coming from the tree. But honestly, you don't even need the tree background to make this card. You could leave just the stacked Mary on a white background, and I think this card would be awesome. Clean and simple, and it would light up and it would be fabulous. But of course, I like to ink blend and make things extremely difficult for myself. To attach the lights, I made a hole right where I wanted my colored light to sit. And then I made sure that the light came through the hole and into the light. And it all worked out really easily. This came together really fabulous. And I used a glue dot to both hold the light, the easy light, inside of the light bulb and to attach the light bulb to the cardstock itself. Just one glue dot does all of that. It's not the micro glue dots, but it's the one size up from the micro glue dots, but it's not the huge glue dots. I know you know what I mean. You know, I'd like to think that this is a complicated card, okay? In my mind, even making this video, I think, wow, this is kind of a complicated card, but really, it is not. It came together really quite simply, and it's not very technical, actually. You know, I'm just taping lights to the paper. That's it. You might have to poke a hole, but honestly, I did not try to use my piercing tool to pierce a hole into these light bulbs, but they're not hard plastic. That could possibly happen. I haven't tried it because I have a Dremel. I wanted to finish off the bottom, give it a little bit of ground to be on. This is the same green grass cardstock. I cut with Spellbinders, some Spellbinders dies, just using liquid adhesive to attach the buttons to the lower bottom of the card, like where the ground is. You could absolutely tell people that this is where you push, but I think it's easy. I think people are going to find out that this is a light up card, you know, once they get it. I'm using one layer of Scotch foam tape to attach the cardstock panel to the panel with the buttons. And it really worked out. Like I was scared that maybe this wouldn't work out and I'd, you know, have a problem, but I really didn't. Same liquid adhesive to attach the whole panel to a white card base. I know. Don't worry. The fog is here. I didn't run out, okay? I just needed to order some more. I have like one pack left, but I just wanted to use some white card bases. It's okay. I'm okay. I love you guys. Look at how light up it is.
I freaking love this so much. You have no idea. I love this. I hope you enjoyed experimenting with some things today and making a card. Easy lights are super easy. Like, you can do so many things with them. You don't just have to use them on your cards, too. You can make home decor with them. It's so cool. I hope you enjoyed this. Find me, find Pear Blossom Press on social media, and until next time.
Thank you guys so much for sitting through a 15-minute video. It's been a while since I made a 15-minute video. Thanks.